That's right. He is back. Gojo is back. He's free from the prison realm. And this man didn't waste any time at all because he went straight to Kenjaku and Sukuna and started to fight them, but decided that he's going to go on ahead and finish this battle on December 24th, the anniversary of when he killed his best friend Geto and the whole experience of what happened in chapter 0. And this is the biggest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. And we started off while we see that everyone is preparing to actually free Gojo. So they decided to do it inside of the building that they're in. And then they realized, like, wait a minute, this is probably a bad idea because we don't know the mindset of what Gojo is probably in because he's been trapped in the prison room for 19 days. So we don't know if he's going to be in the right state of mind because if he's in this prison realm, he's let out, he can probably be evil, he can probably go berserk, he can just probably think like, hey, those 19 days was probably a few minutes, or those 19 days was probably years. So they decided to release him outside, and how they did it on the outside was pretty very funny because they did it like how they were about to do like a whole bunch of dynamite. And at first when they were thinking of like releasing him, they're probably like, yeah, a berserk evil Gojo will be bad. And seeing how Hakari and Yuji are visualizing a cartoon version of Gojo being berserk, which is really funny. But we focus on Angel as she activated Jacob's ladder, and so that way Gojo can be free. So this huge explosion happens, and as the dust and debris all clears out, they're all looking around and they see that there's no prison realm. So they're just like, wait, he disappeared. What happened? And we get a narration says that if the back of the prison realm is exposed to Angel's curse technique, Gojo is wiped from existence. So Angel is trying to be like, oh, maybe Gojo was actually kind of like an evil spirit, as everyone is just looking at her like, girl, are you serious? As Yuji is saying she's playing defense. And as they questioning of what can possibly happen, all of a sudden we see an earthquake happening and everyone is shook. But then we focus on Kenjaku as he's looking around doing like this smirk as like he's kind of like surprised of like what's going on. And he says, I have placed the prison realm in a substantial zone 8,000 meters below the surface of Japan's Trent. And of course, I place a cursed spirit so that way it can like seal and overtop the layer. But he also said that when he absorbs Tegan told him about the back of the prison realm and how Yuji and the rest of the gang was going to actually do it. So he said, supposedly, if the seal was somehow to be broken, you will perish along with it based on where the prison realm is actually at. So when he was just like, so how the hell were you able to do it? As he is staring at Gojo and Gojo is staring at him down, not even blinking at all. He is just seething on trying to whoop this guy's ass. And so Kenjaku says that it's been a long time since you were truly able to relax. How is it? As Gojo says, hey. And then he told Kenjaku, like, hey, be careful with any words that you will say. After all, it will be your last. So Kenjaku already knows that Gojo is about to go on ahead and attack, and we see that Kenjaku was able to dodge Gojo's attack because Gojo just automatically just went in and started attacking Kenjaku. And so when Kenjaku dodges, he sees two spirits coming in, and then we see that Gojo kind of notice it, and it's Sukuna. Sukuna finally arrived, and looks like we're going to see Sukuna in Gojo Part 2, but we didn't. But we see Sukuna, he tries to attack Gojo, and Gojo was able to block it. And he says that, oh, you have changed a bit the last time I saw you, Megumi. And then we see that Sukuna says, do you still remember? And then we see that Sukuna, he's trying to like push back because remember, he told Gojo that after he takes over Yuji's body, he'll be the first person to kill. And then so Sukuna was just like, well, I end up taking over this brat's body. So yeah, I will finish you. And then so we see that Gojo, he's making fun of Sukuna because he was just like, you, a loser who ran away from Yuji, come in between the tail between your legs. You're pretty pathetic. As Yorami is pissed off because it's like, how dare you talk to Sukuna? So she goes on ahead in her Karen mode, trying to protect her master as she's trying to attack Gojo, but Gojo was able to punch her in the stomach, one shot at her, and he says, "And who are you?" as she is flying and crashing through the wall as blood is coming out of her mouth. So then Kenjaku, he went in and he's like, oh, okay, let's stop all this fight. And he was just like, and besides too, Sukuna, before you even fight him, you have to make good on my promise for me. As we see Gojo is just making fun of the whole situation because he's like, oh, the great Sukuna is actually listening to you, as Gojo is just making fun of everybody at this point. So then he's trying to analyze the whole situation and trying to see like, okay, what the hell's probably what's going on. And then so we see Sukuna just like, fine, he's listening to Kenjaku and he's just like, you know what, fine, you're right. So then Sukuna, and we see that Sukuna and Kenjaku, they're actually looking at Gojo. Gojo says that, so what day is it on the evening? And then so Kenjaku says, oh, well, it's November 19th. So then Gojo was just like, all right, so I have things that I have to complete first, and I have important things in the matter before you two. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. And then we'll finish this match on December 24th. And then we see that Kenjaku says, oh, how romantic, because it's the anniversary of when he killed Geto. And of course, Kenjaku is taking over Geto's body. So of course, like Kenjaku was just like, all right, so do you think you can win? And then we see that in the last page of the chapter, Gojo says, I will win. And the chapter just ends, man. This is crazy, man. This is 100% crazy. Gojo is free, and Gojo set a date where he's going to have to go on ahead and fight Kenjaku and Sukuna. And we know like Yuji and the rest of the gang are going to like join in on the fight. But it seems very interesting of what other priorities Gojo is going to do, because like, you know, since they're in November 19th, they pretty much have like a month and like 6 days to like prepare for this battle. So a lot of things is going to be happening in this latest chapter of the Jujutsu Kaisen, and this is going to be crazy. But other than that, let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this chapter. What you guys think. Are you guys hyped that Gojo is free, man? Because it's been wild. But other than that, if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and remember, always be decent. This is the Monotone Man. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.